Jessie Draper, the Valley Girl. What does your company do? Have you ever Googled yourself? Totally. What makes a great entrepreneur? What's your next big idea? Tweeting's like my favorite. Let's talk business. I'm like the Valley Girl.
Oh, hot. Hot, hot. Maybe Sabir Bhatia can help me with this hot mail. Let's talk business.
Jackster is a free text messaging service. Sabir Bhatia is a founder of Jackster. Previously, Bhatia founded Hotmail, which was sold to Microsoft for over $400 million. He is also currently building a nanotechnology city in India from the ground up. Whoa.
Here we are with Sabir Bhatia. He started Hotmail, among other things, and then I even heard you were doing a technology city in India.
That's still happening.
It's still happening, so I want to hear about all of that, every single piece.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with Hotmail. How did that come about?
You know, the internet was very young in those days. It was the early days, 1993, 94. Two of my colleagues had gone on to found Yahoo.
Okay.
This is from Stanford. So I started playing around on the internet, and I felt that this one day would become huge. So that's when I had an idea to do something on the internet and went and recruited my partner Jack Smith to come and join me. Both of us were working at a company called Firepower Systems, and the company installed a firewall around the corporate intranet. That made it very difficult for us to communicate with each other using our personal email accounts. And that's when the idea came to us, what if we made email available on the web that would solve our problem? And that was really the genesis of Hotmail.
I think you guys may be the reason that email is free.
We are one of the reasons why
Because think
email is free.
You know, you could have decided to charge for that.
We could have, but then we would not have grown as much. In fact, there was a company that started right after we did called USA.net,
Okay.
and they did charge for it, and they went out of business.
Interesting. Well, Hotmail is, I mean, sounds way cooler too. You were a serial entrepreneur, for sure. How would you define serial entrepreneur?
Either I'm a serial or a parallel entrepreneur, I don't know. I mean, the way it works with me is I constantly like to think of new things, first of all. And in doing our day-to-day kind of jobs, if I find a problem that I think I can solve, it gets me excited.
I think a great entrepreneur is like that, where you think I need to fix this problem.
If it is a problem for me, first of all.
Yeah.
Or if other people complain about it. I mean, and you can get ideas by reading magazines, just experiencing
life.
Experiencing life,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Since you're a serial entrepreneur, I brought you some cereal, actually. If you'd like to have some cereal with me while we talk about your amazing new company. Hotmail you made free for everyone. And now you're starting a new company, and it's text messaging that is free for everyone.
That's correct.
So that sounds very fun. Let's talk a little about that. How did that come about?
Very simple. Once again, it arose from a problem. My wife, who has an iPhone, she was looking to get a new BlackBerry. I'm like, you're going in the reverse direction. The whole world is shifting from BlackBerry to an iPhone. Why do you want a BlackBerry? And she said she wanted to keep in touch with her sister and her friends in India through BlackBerry Messenger, which was free. I discussed it with my colleagues at work, and because we are in the telecom software space, we've actually created an application that you can download on any phone in the world. And once you've downloaded it, you can send a text message to anyone for free.
Oh my goodness.
And so we not only solved her problem on the iPhone, but completely eliminated the restriction that both parties have to have the same kind of software, or both parties have to be on the same kind of network, like a BlackBerry network. So we think this is incredible. This will be 10 times the size of Hotmail, only because there are 1.5 billion PCs in the world that are connected to the internet, and there are 5.5 billion phones in the world. 3 or 4 times the number of PCs in the world.
That's a lot of phones. That's a lot.
Almost as big as the size of the human population.
Wow. But also cell phone bills get so high these days if you don't have a good plan
Yeah.
because of text messaging.
You know, if you look at phone companies, say Verizon, 20% of their revenue comes from text messaging. And 40% of their profits come from text messaging. 40%. It's a $150 billion a year business.
Oh my goodness.
And we're making it free.
So Sabir, I have an activity for you.
Sure.
Are you ready?
All right, I'm
Okay.
ready.
This is called the Fabulous Cup.
Fab Cup. It's fabulous.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Set, go.
Viral, something that grows like crazy by itself. Snail mail, the old way of doing things. Trendy, modern, you know, with the times. Fun, yeah, something I like to have every day.
Me too.
Hero, somebody you look up to. And startup, where I like to spend all my time.
Awesome. Good job. High five.
Thank
Rock
you.
star. Let's talk about this technology city you're building in India. What do you mean by technology city?
It's like replicating Silicon Valley. There isn't a Silicon Valley in India. It's kind of loosely in a place called Bangalore. But our whole idea is, what if we concentrated a system of universities and then attracted the right kinds of companies to be part of the city? We could really replicate the whole vibrance of Silicon Valley. So we are seeding this city with, you know, the likes of Carnegie Mellon and a couple of Indian universities. Once you get the students, then you can attract the companies to come and collaborate with universities to do research. And hopefully 20 years from now, we will have a semblance of a Silicon Valley.
I think a lot of people starting out don't realize that it is really important to be near a university or something. That's where often the talent comes from, and it kind of gets that, you know, why do you think that's important?
100% because of what you said, talent. The success of any, you know, high-tech company is not money, financing, ideas. All of those are important. Most important ingredient is the quality of talent.
What would be the first thing you do in this city? Are you going to nail the walls?
There are no walls, it's just flat land. So the first thing you got to do is, you know, prepare the land.
Yes.
Which is, you've got to put in the infrastructure in terms of the power,
So
cables.
there's literally nothing
Nothing.
there.
It's just farmland.
Have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur?
When I first came to the US to get my undergrad at Caltech, I really wanted to be a scientist. That was my
Really?
goal in life. While at Stanford, I took a course called Business for Electrical Engineers at the Graduate School of Business. And that really inspired me because, you know, that's one thing about the Valley. The people that are looked up to are the entrepreneurs. So we had the entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs and Vinod Khosla and Scott McNeely come and tell us their stories. They were running at that time, you know, companies that were worth tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm like, well, these are simple ideas.
Yeah.
If they can think of them, so can I. And that's what really inspired me to be an entrepreneur.
So that class really changed you.
Really changed me. I didn't want to be an entrepreneur before that. I wanted to be a scientist. And so then I took a leave of absence from my PhD at Stanford. I don't know if I'll ever go back and complete it. I got a master's, and then I joined Apple Computer. That was my first job. And then since then, I've been bitten by the entrepreneurial bug.
I think that you're one of the forefathers of email, so I think there's no reason you shouldn't create the constitution of email.
Okay.
Okay? What should be our first rule?
Really avoid using all caps.
Definitely. That's a good one. Avoid using all caps, because then it just sounds like you're shouting.
Exactly.
Complete sentences.
Yeah.
That's probably a good
Try to improve your English, not shorten it in an email.
Oh, I
Email
like
is not
that.
a text.
I like that. What are your like email pet peeves? You know?
My pet peeves are where people keep having a conversation that's really meant for 2 people and all 20 people get involved in it.
Yes.
And it's one of these never-ending emails. Finally, they just go to junk and I stop reading them.
Be polite. That's probably a good one.
Sure.
Just like in general. Be polite. And now for our last and final Constitution rule, what do you think?
I try to finish my emails with some
Smiley
sort of
face?
cheers or
Oh yeah.
regards or something.
End emails with something happy.
Yeah.
Do you want to draw the smiley face after happy?
Sure.
That was a good smiley face. Mine don't even have noses. Here's the thing. So we wrote a constitution. Where are we gonna send it? Who's gonna make this happen? The president.
Okay, the president.
So can you help me put this
Oh, you've got the
in
right
the
size envelope too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you help me put this in the envelope? Okay. Will you mail this for me? Just throw it out the window.
Throw it out the window.
Just throw it out the window.
All right.
I'm sure it'll
One
get there.
big. Hope there's somebody to catch it.
That was awesome. I'm like the Valley Girl.
I'm like Sabir Bhatia of Jackster.
Yay. So what do you think of the color pink?
It's appropriate for you. Appropriate for the show.
And now it's time for your Dits moment.
I was gonna write lingo because it was shorter, but then we would be completely doing the opposite of what we're saying.